Hi, welcome to Hillsdale.
We're going to show you the finishing touches inside this house.
So this house is actually going to a single mother and 2 children. And the cool thing about this house is that it is operated by gas and not electricity.
That means when a hurricane hits, they can still use the stove for cooking, heat the house, and there's running water.
Can you guys tell me some things that you did on this house?
Well, sure!
Yeah, we can. There's 3 different kinds of paints that are going on in this house. You have ceiling paint, you have baseboard paint, and then you have the wall paint. And we've done all of them.
We've also learned that sometimes the drywall will show through, and to help cover that, you spray on texture, wait for it to dry, then paint over it with the eggshell. Some other tedious tasks we were faced with were these door hinges. Now, these door hinges were put on before the doors were painted, so a lot of the times they were painted over. So we had to take Gooby Gun and scrape all the paint off of all the door hinges. Not very fun.
So we used a lot of caulk throughout the house, and the purpose of caulk is to provide an air and waterproof seal. And we used it in the windows where there were some spaces, so that way no air gets through.
So Anne, what was your favorite job?
Funny you should ask, Hannah. This is a plate. A face plate, that is, for a door. It took me an hour to resurface this in order for the door to close.
It worked!
I'm great!
Each house varies a little bit. This house in particular has laminate wood floors.
Along with the laminate wood floors, there's also bedroom differences. This one is actually a 2-bedroom house. Some houses can be 5-bedroom.
What else is really cool is that all these Whirlpool appliances are donated.
So this was my most difficult task, and it's called the threshold, and it's when you can join the wood with the linoleum. And it took me about an hour to try to get this piece in because it requires you to chisel the wood away. And this is actually not a completed piece. That one is.
Well, today, as you can see here, what we've been doing is we've been clearing the dirt out of these sewer drainage lines, and it went all the way around the cul-de-sac. Then, after we got done doing that all morning, our secondary task for the day was to start digging a 6x6 trench all the way around the cul-de-sac for the silt screens here. This is a silt screen. What it does is it actually prevents silt from coming in from the plot into the street, so we're not being fined by the city for getting the street all dirty. I'm not sure about the technicalities of it, but that's what it is.
Welcome to today's edition of Habitat Humanity Cedar Point. My name is Jeff Yanko. My co-host for the day is going to be Jason over here. We're going to explain to you a little bit what we've done on the roof. I'm going to explain to you first my personal favorite, which is the vents, if you can see right through here. They're very easy to do. They also keep the house ventilated. One of the other ones there is to do is, I think, Jason's favorite. Which is, go ahead, you want to explain that?
The peaks and valleys of the roof. As you can see, this would qualify as a peak right here, comes to the top, and the valleys is where the 2 lines of the roof come together. So it's really hard to cut these out, but you know what? Look at this. We did it, and we had a fun time doing it. So now the actual process of shingling involves laying out many strips of overlapping pieces of the shingle, which is what you see here in the finished product. But how many rows would you say we went up here, Jeff, to get this done?
Oh, geez, Jason, at least, this looks like at least 60, 70, maybe
so
at least.
That's a lot of trips back and forth up and down the roof.
Very hard on the knees.
It is. To have a more in-depth look at what's been going on, we're going to come right around the corner here and talk to my buddy Jeff, as he's been hard at work all day getting the siding going up the side of the house. Hey there, Jeff.
Oh, hey, Jason, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Great. I'm supposed to nail this in.
Go ahead.
Oh,
yeah.
I appreciate it. Excellent. Here we go.
So can you tell us the general strategy of putting up the siding on the side of the house here?
Well, yes, Jason, I'd love to tell you about that, actually. The process is pretty much, if we have a wall like this, we have to make a special custom cut, as you can see. And what we have to do is we use these little green things to hold it up in place. You've worked with these clips before, Jason, haven't you?
Oh, yes, I have.
Oh, you have? Would you care to explain that to us, please?
Yes. Well, in order to protect the side of the wall from a lot of the elements that could get from the outside, there's about 1.5 inches of overlap all the way along here, and that allows for any rain or anything that falls down to keep from going into the seams, thus keeping the plywood from rotting or anything like that underneath it.
Now, would you agree with me, Jason, if I were to say this is an important process in the making of the house?
It is very important, and perhaps maybe even one of the most important.
Hey, Jill! What are you doing?
Hi, Ian. Well, I'm just clipping this little corner here for the soffit.
What's soffit?
Soffit? This right here is going to keep critters and insects out of coming into the house.
Okay, and just hold it tight against this guardrail here.
Hey, Alex.
Hi.
What is it that you're doing?
I am putting trim around the windows so that we can put up siding.
And what does the trim do on these windows?
The trim on these windows help keep the windows in place. It's beautiful. It's a good old 1 by 1 inch, so to speak, figuratively speaking. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing we got going on here. The trim goes all the way around the window. The siding comes to the trim, where you can see is indicated on this line right here. Great things, great habitat. Habitat!
Shay, you want to tell them what we're doing right now?
Right now we're applying the first coat of primer onto the siding for going on the side of the house.
First we let it dry, and then we put it on the side of the house.
One of the major components of the houses we build down here in the south are the go bolts. What the go bolts are these long metal rods that go from the foundation of the house all the way through to the ceiling of the house, inside and outside on the porch. The purpose of them is to hold the cement foundation to the top of the house in the event of future hurricanes, so the roof doesn't end up flying off of the house.
So in addition to putting the go bolts inside, we also put them outside on the front porch and the back porch. But these ones we had to actually drill into the cement and into the trusses, place the go bolt inside before we put this column on. And the go bolts, again, help with hurricane and keeping that roof in place during a hurricane. The columns are actually can hold 10,000 tons and are holding the weight of the house.
Those were just two of the sites that we worked at. Some other of our sites that we worked at were here at Magnolia Crest, which is right down the street, on those two houses that we gave away the keys to for people, and across the street at this dirt pile, I guess, that had all of the walls from last year that they made for the Jimmy Carter build. We had to deconstruct all of those. And we also worked at the warehouse for Habitat for Humanity, where they had us build all of those same walls for the Jimmy Carter build this year. And that's about it for our project summary.